From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in beautiful downtown Lake Worth, Texas. It's another edition of the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Indeed it is.
Well, welcome in, everybody.
How you doing, amigo?
All kinds of crazy things going on this morning. I
Lord.
see the maintenance crew is outside of the studios doing their mowing. And
I think
so
they must have been in here burning the midnight oil playing with our equipment or something. It's been a hell of a morning, hasn't it?
yeah, the gremlins from the Kremlin have kind of snuck up on us, but we've got a pretty good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about having respect for law enforcement officers.
Do you have it or not?
That's right. And Pappy, before we start, we really want to say thank you so much for all the doctors, the nurses, the hospital staff, all the support staff of all the hospitals around the country.
Peace officers, any first responder, firefighters.
Any first responders, just because we're doing a program on law enforcement today doesn't mean that we do not recognize you.
That's right.
And we appreciate you more than you will ever know in this whole lifetime. So
Bless
thank
your hearts
you.
out there. Just be safe.
Absolutely. Little rest and a lot of work these
There you
people
go.
are putting in.
Yep.
So, it's we can't say thank you enough. And some of you are starting to get your relief checks in. I know Special K and I got ours in last night. So
Owe me 1,000.
they only got $12.67
Well, you're Richard I am.
after the Democratic Party took out their taxes. So. Hey,
there's a new
it's
show.
$12 more than what I had, Pappy.
That's right. That's 12 peepers in my world. Well, we do want to welcome you along. It's so good to have you on board. We appreciate all your emails and comments. Just keep 'em
thanks
coming.
for old Bulldog Willis and the intro music for today's show. Another one of your good friends.
He's a bad hombre on that guitar, isn't he?
Badassery, as they say.
I've known Bulldog and his beautiful wife Pam for quite a while.
Yeah,
And,
you told me you used to tour around with the Allman Brothers.
he
and-
did. Well, he's open for the Allman Brothers. I mean, it's a long list of people he's open for back in the day.
Sure.
And I stand corrected, dog, because I'm going to send you the show. I'm going to send you a link to the show, and I'm sure if I need to be corrected, you probably will, being the jarhead man you are, and the size you are. But he's not no little guy. Not no little guy. But I think the band that he played in back then was Moondance or Moonsong. I think it was Moondance. I can't remember. But
Seems like I've heard of that group.
I bet we've stumbled and fell in a ditch at the same time, whatever their name was. But that boy can absolutely play, And long story short, he has a huge studio built at his house on his property north of Amarillo,
Yeah.
and he helps a lot of the upcoming artists, helping them get launched. I mean, not
Sure.
to say that he can't record record for the big boys when they come through.
Yeah.
But everything you hear, the majority of the times, unless he's got an accompaniment band with him, is usually instruments he plays himself, keyboards. I bet he could even play the swinette.
Well, there you go.
I'll catch hell for that, but he don't know where I live.
Hey,
So I ain't
Bulldog,
scared.
for the right price, I'll tell you where he lives. Okay. Hey, we're going to jump right into this morning because there's been so many controversial things said about law enforcement officers, what they're doing. Pappy, you and I we grew up in a time where there was nothing but ultimate respect for our law enforcement officers.
Absolutely. I was raised by a police officer in Lubbock.
Yes, you were.
I mean, and when he'd do this, you would come here. I mean, he was a deacon of the East Side By God Baptist Church and a pillar of the community. And, when Pops, I mean, this was back in the day when they could literally pull you out at a red light, just beat the crap out of you if they wanted to. I mean, if they needed to, actually. But, a lot
That's the key, if they needed to. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have a misconception about what peace officers go through. I mean, you don't know. They have no clue. They really don't.
Before we really get into the crux of the program, I wanted to show you a picture of a good friend of ours whose daughter has just graduated from the police academy. And there
She's
she
just
is
about
right there.
I
Hi,
think.
Tori. How
Yeah,
are
hey,
you?
Tori Bug.
Good Lord, we can't say thank you enough for getting that calling, because I really do think it's a calling that our law enforcement first responder people have.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you guys know Jonathan, my youngest son.
Correct.
He's been accepted by the police academy down south of Houston.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, which just terrifies the you know what out of me. But I may not like his idea because of the way things are going these days. Only from a parent's perspective. I mean, I respect him a lot. He's got very level headed and he's certainly big enough to back up about anything he wants to do. But yeah, he's been accepted in
He's a pretty good sized fella.
yeah, he's about 6'6.5". He don't even need a gun. He can carry a squirt gun or a cork pistol, and get the job done. So yeah, ow. But yeah, I respect it and I stand behind him wholeheartedly. But I don't have to like it, you know.
Well, I can understand that, and it shouldn't scare the heck out of you in today's thing. But we ask a lot of you folks to send us in some thoughts for today's program on law enforcement. Some of you did, and we'll get right to those and give you our take on them.
Yeah.
Pap, we got a comment from Philip Ramsey of Louisiana, who says he was a police officer for 11 years.
Wow.
But eventually had to give it up. He says the everyday stress he and fellow officers faced each day became too much for him to handle. It affected his family life, his emotional state, and his health. The uncertainty that officers face every day, or if they would go home to their families, just became unbearable, so he resigned.
Wow. It's like PTSD. I mean, I grew up seeing that. I mean, it literally broke my mother and father up. That's why he got off the police department. He's probably one of the most honest guys you'd ever want to meet out on the street carrying a badge and a gun. He just said, well, there's no room for an honest cop anymore. So he walked away after quite a few years. But it just kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, you don't know what these guys go through on a daily basis. It's not about stopping and writing a ticket or whatever. I mean, the things that they have to go through and live with on a daily basis, it's like warfare out there to these guys.
Yeah.
And they certainly have my respect. They do.
Oh, yeah. Every one of them in that department have mine, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, Terry S. of Fort Worth said that police officers just do not get the respect they once did by the public. He said the public itself is to blame for any police misconduct because they react to the situations that are before them. I can't thank them enough. And I can't agree enough. I mean, you're going to have a good, bad, or indifferent batch no matter what you're into.
Let's stop and think about that statement Terry S. made right now. He said the public itself is to blame for any police misconduct. Let's stop right there. Let's talk about that for just a minute.
Okay.
When let's say you get pulled over by a police officer for, I don't know, a traffic infraction.
Gotcha.
Okay? When he gets out of that car, he has no idea who he's going to be facing
Lord, no.
in that car.
Yeah. Or what the situation might be. You know?
So he's going to be approaching your car, everybody, with a little apprehension and caution.
And probably with his hand on his gun.
I would suggest that you roll down your window when you stop and put both hands on the wheel till he approaches you and talks to you.
That's common sense. There's a whole lot of people that's got shot for that kind of thing. I mean, have your license, your insurance card in your hand, your CHL if you carry one, have it all in your hand on top of the steering wheel. Let the man know that he's out of harm's way when he approaches you.
That's correct. And, how many times have we heard about policemen losing their lives? As a matter of fact, I did a little research. There were 146 police officers who died in the line of duty in 2019, and so far in 2020, 38 have died. And here we are in April 2020, and 38 have already died
These are based what?
in the United States.
Nationwide. Okay.
Nationwide.
Well, when I was growing up, Pop used to tell me that the number one cop killer was routine stops.
I can see that.
Somebody might have
I
a
really
tail
can
light
see
out,
that, yeah.
and by routine I don't mean, well, I think I'm going to pull this guy over for no reason. I mean, that's silly. Tail light out, something,
Speeding,
yeah,
run a red light,
yeah. I mean, or driving your
slap
head up
your
your
wife,
butt,
you know.
yeah, whatever. He said that was the number one cop killer back in my day.
Now, I also figured out so far which is the top states in officer deaths from last year. Now, this is last year. These are the top 3 states in the entire country. New York had 25 police officers that died in the line of duty. Texas, and I sure hate to say this, come on, Texas.
Yeah.
Texas had 18 police officers to die in the line of duty, and California had 10 police officers to die in the line of duty. And those were the top 3 steps, and of course it breaks down from there.
Yeah.
But golly, I mean, you stop and think about that, Pappy.
It's bad. I mean, and a lot of people, you know, I've heard people even at the field office go, "Well, we don't need a police department." Could you imagine what
Chaos.
what this country would be without
It would
law
be utter
enforcement?
chaos without our police officers.
I mean, there's a lot of laws I disagree with, but I'll tell you this: if I create an infraction of the law, it's nothing but yes sir, no sir, okay. I mean, just like my older brother used to tell me, you can beat the rap, but you're not going to beat the ride. So if you want to be a horse's butt, you've just given that peace officer every right in the world to return the same. I mean, and he can make life rough on you if he wants to.
Yes, he can.
Legally, not because he's being a butthole or because he's had a good, bad, or indifferent day. He can do it by law. So, you know, think about that next time you get pulled over. You know, show them a little respect because they're there for you. They're there for you, you know.
Paul H. of Oklahoma says that the police officers he has encountered were too smug and arrogant for his liking, and they should take some lessons in courtesy.
Well, brother, you should take some lessons in common sense. They're out there for a reason.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going.
I mean, good Lord, you know.
Come on, Paul, use your head. God gave you a brain to think. I mean, think if you were on the other side of it and you were pulling that guy over, how would you be doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just asking.
You
Put yourself in their shoes. Walk a mile in their shoes. See what they put up with every single day that they're on the job.
It's not like they're out there to hand out popsicles and lollipops, you know, when they pull you over.
A lot of them do.
They do, yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I got a little sticker one time for driving safe in Houston.
Yeah.
Scared the hell. It made me wonder what the hell he was up to. but I rocked it. Fort Worth police officer told us that his biggest fear is pulling someone over and not knowing what that driver might pull on him.
Well, that kind of reflects on what we were talking about just a few seconds ago.
Well, I mean, I'd be itchy too if I was rolling up on somebody that was.
Let me ask your opinion on something.
An unsavory
and
character.
Forgive me for not knowing this, folks. Are police officers now? Are they still 1 to a car, or are they going 2 per car?
The majority of them are riding solo, but I've seen a lot of double ups, and that might be training. I don't know. They might have a rookie with them. I don't know.
It could be.
It just depends on what their job description is for the day. You know, I mean
would the area that they're patrolling in, would that have anything to do with it?
I would think so.
Yeah.
You know, you get in some of the slum areas and so forth. I mean, I wouldn't want to ride in the flats of Lubbock by myself. I mean, my dad's partner was 6'8.5". He was a big old boy.
Yeah.
And they had a dog and a shotgun.
Huh.
And a slapjack. You don't want to get hit with that.
No.
But they didn't. They had very little problems when Kenny Averett would fall out of there. He'd unfold out of that car and just yes sir. You know, but But yeah, I mean, you know how the districts are set up. Just like in Houston, you've got the ward areas.
Yes.
You never see a cop riding along. You might see detectives riding along and by themselves. I mean, undercover stuff. But I guarantee you, backup's not too far behind them.
Yeah.
That I
Probably
pretty much
not.
know.
Let's see. We had a comment from Billy Taylor
Yeah.
of Dallas, Pappy, who said he just doesn't trust police officers and feel they target him because of the color of his skin. He says he can't help but feel that way. Well, now, Billy,
Well,
let's stop a minute. I know this has been a very controversial thing about being pointed out because of the color of your skin. Don't give them any reason. I mean, just don't. I mean, keep your smart-ass remarks,
yeah.
no matter what color your skin is, black, white, brown, yellow. I don't care what color your skin is. If you're going to be a smart-ass when a police officer is trying to talk to you, then what you get is what you've earned. And that's my opinion. Don't do that to police officers. They deserve your respect, and trust me, they want to get that stopover just as quickly as you do.
In regards to your skin color, I mean, they ask you a question, answer it. Know your rights. I mean, I have never been pulled over by a police officer. Believe me, I've been pulled over a few times.
Why?
That infringed on my rights as an American. And if I feel like he is, I will let him know. Just like, I mean, Jordan is bad about that, my middle son.
Yeah.
He knows probably more about civil rights and Declaration of Independence than half the cops do. And they don't want to hear all that crap. They just want to know, why were you swerving, or you have a tail light out, or you're speeding, or whatever. That doesn't give you the right to cop an attitude with them. It's just
answer the question.
Yeah. Chances are you can be about your merry little way shortly.
You know, I had back when I was growing up in Emory, Texas, all of my friends and relatives down there, when I was growing up, I had a deputy there in Rains County that kept pulling me and my girlfriend at the time over all the time. He would pull us over all the time, and I didn't speed or anything, but I pulled over and I was nice.
That's different. He just wanted to see
And
what
he
you
would-
was up to.
Well, that's where I was going with this. He was asking us, where you guys going? Mm-hmm. Where you guys been? Yeah. And it never dawned on me. Now, this is a true story. Never dawned on me. Now, fast forward in time to about, let's say, 15 years ago, when I was working in the auto industry, after I got out of the broadcast industry.
Gotcha.
I was working at Gibson Cadillac in Greenville, Texas.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to buy a pickup. So I was getting all of his paperwork ready, and I said, "You'll excuse me for asking you." I said, "Golly, you look really familiar to me." And he said, "I should." And he told me, "I'm the one that kept pulling you over when you were in high school."
Keeping your butt out of trouble is
I
what he's
just
doing.
went, "What the hell?" I said, "I gotta ask you." I said, I was never speeding. I said, I made sure my car was in good shape, tail lights working. I said, "Why did you keep pulling me over?" And he just looked at me straight in the eye and he said, "Your dad was a mighty persuasive man."
That's right.
Everything started clicking.
Well, see, Pop used to have his buddies pull my older brothers over.
Yeah.
You know, your dad told me I was going out to Buffalo Lake, which is outside of Lubbock. Why are you heading west when Buffalo Lake is this way? What are you boys up to? They were going out to the Strip to buy a beer because Lubbock was a dry county back then. So,
Well, I made the mistake of lying to my daddy one time about where I'd been, and I had been stopped.
he knew about it before you did, probably.
He did.
Yeah.
He asked me where I'd been, when I got home, and I don't remember what I told him. It wasn't where I had been. He said, "You sure about that?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad, yeah, sure." He just looked at me.
Let me tell you, you've heard.
I paid the price.
You've
Let's
heard
put it that
the
way.
term "the long arm of the law." I
Yeah.
found out what this was back in about 71, I went back to Lubbock to go to school, right?
Right. Right.
My best friend at the time, old Rick Kennington, God rest his soul, he had just bought a 71 Charger RT. Plum crazy purple. Had a 440 Magnum in it, and we beefed that sucker up, put a heavy carburation on it, changed the rear end out. Well, Lubbock at the time had a brand new Loop 289 going around it. And, you know, Pop had already, he'd been away from the police department for quite a few years and was living in Houston with Mom, right? And here I am in Lubbock, 10 hours away, 10 and a half hours away, going around Loop 289 at about 145 miles an hour, and we get stopped. We're 17-ish or so, you know, 19. I'm literally, I mean, that Charger would haul butt. Well, just by coincidence, we had a half case of Budweiser in a cooler in the back seat.
Just so happened.
Yeah. How I got there is beyond me, but we got pulled over by Lubbock Police Department.
It was the aliens.
Yeah. So anyway, he asked for our ID, both of our IDs. Rick was driving, and so I handed him my driver's license, and you know, yada yada yada. Where you boys going? What the hell's your hurry? What are you doing? Why you got beer in your back seat? And he all of a sudden looks down, pulls my license up on top, looks down at my driver's license. He leans down, looks in the window, he goes, "Are you DeWitt's boy?" And I thought, oh, God, I'm going to die when I get home. I said, yes, sir. I'll tell you what. He put both those driver's licenses in there. And this is probably the only reason I didn't get thrown in the hoose cow that night, Rick and I, because we'd been drinking. We wasn't drunk, but we'd been drinking beer at 17. He said, get out. Y'all fall out on the shoulder side of the car. So pull that damn ice chest out. Made us pour every one of those beers out. Squeeze the cans. Drop them back in there. He said, be sure and dispose of those cans properly when you get home. I'll just hang on to these driver's license for a while, okay? Yeah. Yes, sir. So you get the hell out of here. He knew we couldn't go without driver's license, so we went home. It was about a month and a half later, I guess, when I got home.
He was such a bad boy.
I was a bad boy. Like a preacher's boy. I was a cop's boy. Even crazier. So I got home. I think it was Christmas holiday or maybe Thanksgiving. I don't know. Got home, was sitting there, and everything was normal. Everybody got hugs and kisses and loves and stuff. And right in the middle of dinner, Dad said, well, what you been up to? It's not a whole lot. He said, did you leave these at home when you left or what? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, here it comes.
So next 45 minutes was nothing but preaching at the kitchen table, man.
You got the gospel, didn't you?
Yeah, well, he gave me one of these, you know, just dink like that. And I said, okay, Pop, got you. Message received. He said, I don't like getting phone calls and things like this in the mail, son. So,
Yeah.
So,
let's see. I think you've got Rachel K's comment coming up here.
Rachel K of Plano. That Rachel K says her cousin is a police officer and she doesn't know how he faces his job each day. She also said she is extremely proud of him. Good for you, Rachel. And all he does in the community he serves in.
Yeah, I wish you would have told us what city.
Plano.
No, she's from Plano.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's from Plano. Says her cousin. She didn't say where, if it was in Plano or whatever.
Well, probably Plano, since she didn't specify. I don't know. Well, somewhere, anywhere. I mean, it's the same job, just different
sure.
locale. But,
sure.
And that's good, Rachel. You should be proud of him. I mean, be supportive of him. If he wants to talk, listen, because he's got a lot of stuff going on between his ears that he can or cannot discuss, I would imagine. So.
Yeah, and the things they see, it's just got to be weighing on your mind too. I mean, you know, they've been called out for some of these family disturbances.
Oh Lord, yeah.
And a lot of times they're met with gunfire. A lot of them lose their lives during that time. But the things they see.
No, there's no telling what they might roll up on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
my grandpa hadn't answered the phone in 3 days, and he'd been laying in the house 14 days, gone. I mean, just different stuff.
Yeah. And you can imagine the murders and things like this, and I would imagine that would bother you, but I think the thing that would bother me most as a police officer is if I came up
Or a child.
on a child.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
It would just, I don't think I could ever get that image out of my mind, and God bless you,
You wouldn't be able
officers.
to.
I just, good Lord of mercy.
Yeah.
Help me. What we're saying today, folks, is that we want you to make an extra special effort to get along with police officers in your town.
Just be respectful to them. Jesus Christ, they're there for you.
Pappy hit it right on the nose. Respect them for what they do every single day of their careers.
The only difference between them and you is they carry a badge and they carry a gun, and they're authorized to enforce the law. But at the end of the day, or starting of the day, at the end of the day, they pull their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do.
Well,
Just
sure.
like I do.
Absolutely.
I hear bells.
I do too.
Oh.
Somebody forgot to hit the silent.
Oops, that's in another room. But yeah, just respect them and work with them. I mean, all of them I've ever been involved with actually care. I mean, they give a damn about people, or they wouldn't be in that line of business.
Yeah, that's true.
It's that simple. I mean, they're there for you. They're there for us. They're there for themselves, to protect their own rights and well-being as well. So just chill out and give them the respect they deserve. I mean, they're having a hard go of it.
You men and women that put on the blue every day, and God, we cannot say thank you enough for what you do. And Special K brought up a interesting point this morning when we were doing the pre-show programming notes, and she said, be sure to thank them for their support of the first responders and doctors and nurses, because they're having to cope with that too and serve as backup.
Well, and they're usually the ones that jump in front of the first responders when they show up on a scene. I mean, just
a
to
good
protect
point.
them.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So you have my respect. All law enforcement.
Speaking of first responders and respect, our buddy Thomas, I found out he starts with Crowley Fire Department on the 20th. He finally made it.
Yeah,
Finally
right.
made it. Thank you, Tom.
Hey, Thomas boy. Hey, good job, brother.
Firefighter Tom.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've been backing you all along.
But we appreciate what you're all about, Tom, and where your heart and your head is. You're a good man.
What a great heart he has,
I don't
too.
care what your mama said about you. I like you. So just hang in there,
I
buddy.
have no idea what he's talking about, but
Him and his girlfriend both are first responders. So
yeah, really?
yeah, she's paramedic, EMT.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
She's mighty pretty.
yeah, she is.
Mighty pretty.
Too pretty
But
for the likes of old tall Tom.
if nothing else today, folks, we hope that you develop and go out of your way to show respect for a police officer. And I'm going to say something right here that may be a little controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I see this in the news where businesses turn down police officers because they're police officers.
Isn't that crazy?
Now, I'm giving you fair warning. I'll probably wind up in jail if I see this.
Libtards.
I'm going to light into your ass like you've never had it before. These people deserve your respect. And
right.
if you're the one that is turning down these officers when they want to come in to eat, don't say nothing when you get in trouble and you call for a police officer and they say, hey, isn't that the one that wouldn't serve us the other day?
Yeah.
Don't we have a flat tire here?
Or
You deserve what you get.
or
by
when
God.
Robbie the robber comes in all masked up and takes your money away from you, who the hell are you going to call? Who you going to hide behind?
During the coronavirus, everybody's got a freaking mask on.
That's right. And by the way,
I would be nervous if I worked somewhere.
irregardless of what everybody says, thinks, or blabs about, not all cops eat donuts. Some of them don't even like a damn donut, so get over that crap. Jesus Christ. Let's get into viewer comments, or do we have time?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, but we thank you guys, you boys in blue.
Thanks for the
and all
comments
first
that you,
responders rather. Excuse me. We love you, and we appreciate what you're all about.
Amen to that, brother. Yeah. Amen to that. Let's get into those viewer comments.
Let's.
We got several on some of the past shows, and we told you in the onset when we started this that this program is all about your comments and what's on your mind. So
that's right.
Why don't you lead us off there, Pap?
Well, Patty Luska, or would it be Luska? I'm thinking Luska.
I'm thinking Luska.
Okay, we'll run with that then. I bet she knows who we're talking about.
Forgive us, Patty.
Said she just officially subscribed to the Grandpa and Pappy show, which we thank you for doing.
Absolutely.
And said she loved the show about being quarantined. She is telling all her friends to start watching, and that's exactly what we need is people just like you telling friends. Thank you so much for jumping on board with us, Patty. Love having you here.
That was one of the good ones.
Yeah. The rest of them we had to clean up.
Too bad I hadn't done the rap song.
Didn't you post it on a pod page?
No, I posted it on Facebook to my hairdresser.
Too funny.
To make sure that when her salon opens, that me and Special K have the first appointments, and we have secured that.
We'll have to put that on the podcast page. That was too funny.
Our good buddy Kim Stone Cipher Morgan wrote in to say she loves the show and thanks us for showing her fur babies on the previous show on our pets. She says our show is awesome. Kim, you are awesome. And that was wonderful news about Chris beating the cancer.
It is.
Way to go, pal.
Hang in there, Chris. Loretta Blackburn, one of our innkeepers.
Where does that name ring a bell?
Blackburn. I think I used to eat their jellies. Says she loved the show on pets and loves seeing her dog, Rowdy. Now we have a name, Rowdy, which we probably had to begin with, featured on our show. We appreciate what you're all about and all the good times we've had together. I'm even loving the bad times we've had together, Loretta, but, it all goes hand in hand with bartending, I guess.
All depends on how many beers he's had, too.
One thing I did learn is don't piss Loretta off or you're out the front door.
That's right. That's right. She don't take no BS.
We appreciate you, Loretta. We love you.
We do love you.
And thanks for joining in with us.
We sure do. This viewer that we have, I want to ask you a favor. Sean Robert Allgood, you've sent in several comments, just simple comments, but you never tell us where you're from. We'd like to know this.
Well, I know this. He's a close friend of my eldest son, Jason. That's how I met him.
Okay, and he's located where?
Well, Jason's in Austin, so he's either in Austin or somewhere around Corpus or Victoria or all points in between, which Jason has left a thick trail from all those. But I would say he's probably in Austin. Let us know, Sean. I don't know where.
But Sean says the show he watched was a great one.
He's a good guy.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Sean. We love you, brother. Shelly W., our buddy, says she loves her show and thanks us for showing her two fur babies on the program, Molly and Lady, I believe.
Lady.
God rest your soul, Lady.
Yeah, and Shelly, hope you got a kick out of showing or seeing Tori at the beginning of our program today. She, again, just got out of the police academy.
Yeah.
And we are so proud of you.
We are.
We really, really are.
She's going to be a lady po-po. And by the way, our next show, we're probably going to be talking a lot about you on our next show.
Well,
okay.
We'll get into that very shortly. Albert Big Al Westbrook wrote in to say that we are crazy funny and need to get back into our straitjackets.
Takes too long to
He
get
says
out
to
of
keep it up, boys. Big Al, hey, our wives try to put us in our straitjackets every night.
That's right. Guess who's wearing it today? It's Helen's turn to wear it today. So,
Get out.
So, keep her close to home that way. We appreciate you, Big Al.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun today. It's about time that we tooted the horn.
We're running a little bit over, but real quick, what's our next show going to be about?
Well, that's what I was fixing to lead into.
Yeah.
We had a show, and we take the ideas from our show based on what you folks are writing in and telling us.
Mm-hmm.
So keep them coming. That's how we find out which shows that we're going to do, good or bad. Like our next show And this is
It's a good thing, our next show.
it's going to be fun. Let's put it that way. And we need your comments, especially female.
That's right.
We need you females to write in.
I mean,
because
we know what guys think. It'll be 100 of the emails of the same text.
it's in the DNA. Yeah. The next show is why do ladies like to wear clothing that shows their cleavage?
Because they can?
We want to know from a woman's perspective why you do that. Okay? We're not trying to be sexist, not trying to make anything out of it. We want to know from your perspective. Okay? And we may even get someone in here on Friday.
This would be a good show for a Boomer Goober, you know it?
What if we could get old Boomer back?
Do women in Oklahoma have cleavage? I don't know.
I'm not going to go there.
They call them Sooners for a reason, you know?
Oh, the Milk Cow Blues. Holy mackerel.
good song.
Good gosh almighty.
But we'd love to hear from you. Just send your comments and or pictures, if you will, to the grandpa and pappy at gmail.com. We love hearing from you. Emphasis on the pictures.
Now, this was a suggestion by one of you viewers that we have a show on this.
That's right.
And we do what you guys ask 99% of the time. So
we are listening.
we also want you to give us a line, drop us a line with your thoughts to the address you see on your screen right now, to grandpa and pappy at gmail.com.
And don't forget, you can hop on our website. What's that website, Eddie, one more time there?
It is www.grandpain, not and, but in, www.grandpainpappy.com.
That'll take you straight to YouTube, where you can subscribe by pushing the big red button that says subscribe.
And you can watch our latest program too.
Yeah, any of them. Yeah, you can stack them up, watch them all if you'd like. Give us a like, and tell a friend about it.
Absolutely.
The
That's how we grow.
That's right.
And that's how we keep coming to you.
We love having
coming
y'all
up
on board.
on Monday, our next, not the next taping, but the taping after, we're going to be going after the Veterans Administration. So we need you folks to start sending in the comments about your experience, you veterans, experience that you've had with the Veterans Administration.
That's
we're
right.
finding out some god-awful stuff.
It's terrible the way veterans.
And
our
we're
veterans
not
have been
going
treated.
to we're not going to let up. I know President Trump has overturned a lot of things and fired the director of the VA.
He has.
I think the first week he got into office,
did.
and
Rightfully
he
so.
has demanded that this Veterans Administration be straightened up. And good luck, Mr. President. We're behind you. I know you have all that bullshit that you have to put up with up in Washington from all those senators and congressmen. So, but we're on your side.
Yeah, just let us hear your ideas and comments about that subject. I know it's very touchy, especially a lot of you vets, which we thank you for your service, by the way. God bless your heart for your sacrifice. So let us hear from you, grandpa and pappy at gmail.com.
It has been a lot of fun, Pappy.
It has.
And we want to thank you for joining us again. And we hope you'll join us next time right here for the Grandpa and Pappy Show. So until next time, we want to say thank you.
We love you.
Salute.